Okay, boom. So the question we're answering today is, should you do free work to get clients or not? And the reason I'm talking about this, number one, is because I work with 300 plus agencies on a monthly basis to try and help them get more clients. So I know a thing or two about getting clients. And number two is that I talk about doing free work and using intro offers and using front end offers quite a lot. And I've seen people talk about it and say, do I need to do free work? If I can just charge up front, should I just charge up front? Doesn't doing free work lower my status or lower my authority and make someone think that I'm a time waster and I'm not that good? And some of those things are true and some of them are not true. So in this video, what I wanted to cover was basically the exact answer to that question, and if there even is an exact answer, because just to dive straight into it, the way that I view doing free work is just another tool that you can use to take a freezing cold stranger and turn them into a client. So when I say tool, what do I mean another tool? A tool might be a lead magnet. It might be a front end offer. It might be a Loom. It might be you doing free work. It might be selling them an AI. It might be offering them a free consulting call as sort of somewhat of a lead magnet. Basically, what I mean by a tool is just you're using something to get a freezing cold customer from their current state and getting them to take one step towards you. So what's the implication of that? The implication of that is that sometimes you need a hammer and sometimes you need, a drill. There's different strokes for different folks. You don't just use one tool and deploy that across everything. And there are many ways to do it. Sometimes it is the fact that you can use a hammer and a drill to do the same thing. And obviously it's getting a bit deep into the metaphor now. But sometimes maybe a free trial will work, and sometimes maybe an intro offer will work. It's just that there's different things that work at different times. So if you're one of these people that's saying, do I need to do free work? The answer that I would give you is maybe. Is it going to get you clients? Is it going to generate you deals? Yeah. If yes, then yes, do it. I think the thing that people mess up is that they think the people criticizing it, they think it's going to lower their status or somehow, or they say, I don't want anyone to do free work for me because, I want people that are qualified that are just going to finish the job for me. And it's like, yeah, that is true. And people will say no to you if you are offering them free work. But the alternative is like, what else are you going to do to get clients? Because if you're doing free work, it's probably because you're doing it to get clients, if you know what I'm saying. Now, there are specifically 2 reasons why you would ever want to do free work. Here's number one. Number one is that when you are first starting out, you have absolutely no proof, you have no trust, you're probably not even that good at your skill. And the problem with doing paid work or only doing paid work or saying, I'm not doing that, that's, they're not paying me enough for that, is because that will reduce your sales velocity, aka how many deals you get, by so much. It'll make your deals come super slow because you have no trust. So you're trying to charge heavy up front, but you don't have enough trust. What's the implication of that is that now you don't have enough reps in real life. Like you're not getting enough sales to actually start doing reps. And then the flow-on effect from that is that you can't generate any case studies or you can't generate any proof that quickly because you're charging high up front. There's no proof. There's no nothing. And then you can't produce that proof because you don't have any deals to work on. So the problem with most beginners is that they spend so much time trying to build trust and trying to make content and all of these things to kind of cope for the fact or account for the fact that they don't have any proof. But in reality, if you had just done 5 to 10 free clients and generated proof from them really, really quickly, because you can get free trials much quicker than you can get, big paid deals. If you had just generated proof from those people, you'd be already around the cycle of selling to new clients using the proof that you got from those free clients. So what I'm saying is when you try and charge heavily up front, when you have no proof, it takes so long to get deals because it's so much harder that the cycle of getting proof and then spinning that into new marketing campaigns to get new clients is so much slower than if you had just generated some free trials, gotten proof from them, and then parlayed that into getting new clients. And then the beauty of that is that when you do a free trial, the whole point of it is to upsell them anyway, which is what I'll get to in a second. So you do the free trials for the people, generate the proof, try and upsell them, and then you can use the proof to go ahead and get new clients after that. Because here's the thing, when you're first starting out, proof is the number one thing that is going to increase your sales velocity and make people want to buy from you and actually trust you rather than just kind of viewing you as any other Tom, Dick, and Harry in the market. So what you want to avoid is getting stuck in that purgatory phase at the very start when you're starting an agency or any type of business that you're trying to start. You absolutely want to just get out of that kind of beginner phase ASAP as possible. And then, like I said, if you give someone a freebie, a lot of the time it just starts it starts the interaction with a much better frame of, hey, I'm not like a sleazy person trying to extract value when I haven't created any. I just want to give you value. And yeah, I 100% agree that some people are of the opinion that, I don't want free work from anyone. I just want the result. And it's like, yeah, 100%. But I mentioned it before. What else are you going to do? Are you going to just have a slow sales cycle? The question that you ask, and when I say sales cycle, I mean, are you going to just take 6 months to get one paid deal, or are you just going to ask enough people until you eventually get someone to agree to a free trial? Because the thing is, you have to ask yourself the question, is someone going to say no to my outreach? The answer is yes. Are some people going to think, hey, you're a beginner, I don't want free work from you? Yes, 1000% they're going to say, I'm a beginner, I don't want free work from you. But how many more people are going to say, you're a beginner, I don't want free work from you if you're trying to charge up front? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So the solution to that is basically just saying, okay, I'm going to do free work. I'm going to create value. I'm going to improve my skills. I'm going to get proof. And then I'm going to parlay that into getting paid clients later. Now, there's a second scenario when you should do free work. And this is the one where people think I'm stupid for saying it, but it's actually when you're in any market, you have any level of expertise, any level of case studies, and that is when the economics make sense for you to do free work. So what do I mean the economics? What I'm talking about is your cost to acquire a customer and your lifetime value of that customer. So like I said, let's say free work is a hammer. If it's one of those things where you need a hammer where you're trying to nail something in, aka the conditions fit the bill, then absolutely use the fucking hammer, you idiot. So what that means is if you're in a market that's really, really competitive specifically, or even if you're not in a competitive market, but if you're just finding it difficult to get leads and you can make it make economic sense to deliver free work, you're going to absolutely dominate and blow everyone out of the water. And again, you have to frame it the right way, because the real objection people have to this is that it generates unqualified leads. But at the same time, it also generates qualified leads. And the question you have to ask is every lead you generate going to be qualified? No. And that's one of the funny things that people doing lead gen stuff say is, never generate an unqualified lead again. It's just not going to happen. It's just not a real thing that occurs. You're always going to generate unqualified leads. You just have to filter people. So back to what I mean when I say the economics of delivering free work. Let's say you spend $10K on ads to generate 10 free trials. So it's costing you $1,000 to generate a free trial lead, which is pretty high. You're gonna get it for less than that. But let's just say it's 10K. Then you deliver whatever it may be. You deliver a free video edit, or you deliver 14 days of paid ads management, or you deliver email marketing flows, or whatever you deliver, or a landing page, whatever. Then the cost of you delivering that service, so let's say it costs you $500 to make a landing page of labor. So now you've spent 10K on ads, you've spent $500 per free trial, so 10 times 500 is another 5K. So you've spent 15K to generate and fulfill 10 free trials. Does that make sense? So 15K to generate and fulfill 10 free trials. So now your marketing cost is 10K, or 15K, sorry. So you've spent 15K. As soon as the economics make sense is when you can upsell enough of those 10 free trials into a huge LTV. So let's say your LTV is 10K. If you can generate 4 or 5 paying clients from those 10 trials, and your LTV is 50K, or your LTV is 10K, 4 or 5 free trials into clients, that all of a sudden generates 40 or 50K from 15K in spend. So it's really on the line. Sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't work out in terms of the economics. So it's one of those things where, am I going to reduce my cost per lead enough with the free trial? So with an offer that is so attractive and low risk, aka a free trial, is my cost per lead going to be low enough, and is my cost to fulfill going to be low enough for me to generate and fulfill that free trial for cheap enough based on my LTV to start printing cash from the sky? Because really what we're looking at here is we're looking at different operational arbitrages. And when I say an operational arbitrage, I mean, what would happen if you dropped your cost to fulfill the free trial to $100 instead of $500? What if I dropped my cost to acquire that lead, that free trial lead, from $1,000 to $500? And what if I increase my LTV from 10K to 15K? You're just tweaking these numbers until they make absolute sense. Or don't do it and you can do it with something else. Really, all you're doing in marketing ever is, what is my CAC? What is my LTV? Is this going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Is my LTV going to be 3 times or more than my CAC? If yes, then great. Sometimes it'll make sense to completely scrap the free trial and move towards something more like an intro offer where you say, hey, I'm going to get you this result and I'm going to guarantee it. Sometimes that makes more sense. Sometimes it makes more sense to, just go direct to a recurring offer, or sometimes direct to a book a call. Like I said, sometimes it works better to do a lead magnet and nurture the lead. It's just all of these different things. I think when people say, I'd never take free work from someone. Well, good. You're not the target customer. You don't have to accept the free work. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Sometimes when you're selling to a higher echelon of customer, maybe you're selling to a massive organization. Of course, that's not going to, they're not going to want free work. They've already got enough labor. They might need specific problems solved that they don't have insights about. So you have to look at these things and look at your exact situation. And instead of looking at someone on YouTube and saying, I'm going to apply everything to my situation because, all this broad information is directly made for me, which I can guarantee you that it's usually not. You have to really look at your situation and look at all of these different things that people say on the internet as just a tool that you can pull out of your tool belt when it's time. So like I said, if you're in a market that's super competitive and you want to figure out, how do I get leads? How do I get people to take a step towards me? You just have to think, what do I have to say? Like, what am I forced to say? Of course, I'd rather charge 10K up front, but sometimes you have to do a free trial, fulfill that for as cheap as you can, and then really build a solid, optimized upsell process. And then maybe you'll be able to sell them on a 3, 4, 5, even 9K a month retainer. But it's just very hard to do that on cold traffic. Like, I know people that have booked 100 plus sales calls in a month and closed 0 of them because they're trying to push to their recurring offer and no one's a fit for it. And then they go and spend 20K on sales training. And then I take a look at their stuff and I'm like, man, this is just an offer problem. People don't want to buy a massive recurring offer. So you need to get them in the door and then sell them something else later, because it's not always the right time for a recurring offer. So you can see really what this is and what these different strategies are. It is literally just a toolkit where you have to look at it and think, okay, do I need to pull out my hammer now? Okay, pull out the hammer. Let's go. Hammer in the nail. On to the next one. Is this going to be profitable for me? And sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't. And that's why I always say there are very, very many ways to skin a cat. The only problem that you have is when you're trying to spread yourself too thin and you're trying to do everything at once and nothing well. Or number 2, you're just trying to do something that's really specifically made for someone that's not you, which is a massive, massive problem. You go on the internet and think, XYZ guru said I need everyone needs to be on YouTube. Every business owner needs to be on YouTube. And that might be true, but maybe it's not the best timing for you. You know what I'm saying? So you need to worry more about yourself than what the gurus are saying. So I hope this helps. I hope that clarifies it. The short version of this is, if you're a beginner and you need to generate proof, me personally, I would be doing free work. Or if you're in a really competitive market and you really want to get leads and you can check out the economics of your offer and of your marketing to make it make sense and you can optimize it, it is a really interesting way of getting clients. Is it the only way? No way. Is it absolutely necessary? No way. It's just one of those things that you can do to get clients. Just something that you can incorporate in to your full funnel.